Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I know it's a little weird. The days kind of seem like they just run together. So this will be the explanation for only assignment 24. I'm going to try to keep it relatively brief. And also that way, one, it'll upload faster, get it out to you quicker. And those of you who, didn't have many comments, if I didn't say you really should check out the video for assignment 24, you don't have to. And you might only want to watch the video for assignment 25. You might want to watch them all just because, you want to see the new hack for the episode and because you miss hearing my voice and seeing my face. So this is only 24. Then we'll stop it and we'll do another one for 25. Before, quick, again, shout out to all the moms. None of us would be here literally without our moms. So if you, for whatever reason, did not do so on Sunday, definitely wish your moms and a happy Mother's Day. And I'd say be extra good to them, but you should be extra good to your moms every day. Right? That's my little message for my wife and mom and all the other moms that I knew. So the whiteboard is good for other things aside from just doing economics problems, right? Notice how the two, or the second two in the 2020 is kind of gobbling up 2020. That's my little coronavirus monster there. Okay. Also, real good Shakespearean insult today. She is the kitchen wench and all grease, and I know not what used to put her to, but to make a lamp of her and run from her by her own light. Comedy of errors. Good one. Okay. So I'm going to pause. I'm going to get up the monopolies graph for the first free response question we're doing today. See you in a second. Okay, so we're back. Here we go. This is from 2013, question 1. So you have the whatever spiel they give you about this being a monopolist. They're profit maximizing. It is unregulated. Use the labeling in the graph to identify each. Okay, so the first one, A1, the monopolist's quantity of output. So we know for everybody, everywhere, every market structure, you're always going to produce where marginal cost hits marginal revenue. Okay, so they're going to take it down, marginal cost hits marginal revenue, and they're going to produce at Q1, right? So that's the first answer, it's Q1. So that's number 1, part A, I, and the answer is just Q1. The monopolist price, they're not going to accept that price. They're going to jack it up as high as they can. How high can they jack it up? Up till it hits the demand curve. At point A, that is price 3. So part A, II, is price 3. The profit earned by the monopolist. Okay, so what's the difference between the price that they're getting and their average total cost, which is P3 to P1? Okay, so for part 3 of part A, they're getting P3 to P1. That's their per unit profit, P3 to P1. And how many times are they getting that? They're getting that P1 times. Okay, that's their total profit. Their per unit profit that many times. Okay? You could have also said, another way of saying it is between A and C and P3 and P1. A and C, yep. From A to C and P3 to P1. Okay, so it's that rectangle there. And I don't want to color it in just yet because we have more to do. Okay, part B says, now assume that the monopolist can perfectly price discriminate using the labeling. I'm going to try to speak a little louder. I did a global video yesterday, and it's a little hard to hear myself when I play it back. So if I'm like shouting or whatever, you can comment and let me know. Okay, so the quantity produced. If they're perfectly price discriminating, they're going to go as far as they can. Every single sale they're going to pick up until that last buyer is willing to spend exactly what their marginal cost is, where it's just a break-even sale. After that, they're not going to go any further. Okay, so they're going to continue on down until their marginal cost is greater than the willingness to pay, and that happens at point F and at quantity Q3. Okay, so for part B, the first part is Q3. Okay, and I wasn't a lunatic about it as far as the grading goes, but again, get in the habit, write your X, Y, 1, 2, 8, 7 number, um, and your initials up at the top of the page. So you just get in the good habit of doing that for the exam. Then it wants the total revenue received by the monopolist. This was, I think, the one where most people were off a little bit. Okay, so all the revenue they're going to get. Now, this is huge. This I am going to color in because you're getting everything that's below the demand curve and up until you get to point F. So it's a lot, right? It's everything I'm doing green right here. They're getting all that. They're getting all this. They're getting all that. They're getting all that. Don't forget, though, I think this is where we went wrong. This is still revenue. All of this. Okay, everything from that last sale down, right? So it's that huge triangle and then even more. Okay, so you could have said that P4 down to 0. Oh, I didn't have 0 in there. From P4 down to 0, okay, over to F and Q3. Okay, it's not a perfect shape. I wonder if you math people can tell me what kind of shape that is, a parallelogram or whatever. Right, but that's all their revenue. That's not obviously their profit, right? Because they still have the cost. Their profit would only be the triangle that stops at P1 over to F. All right, but that's all their revenue. Okay, so again, I think I went through grading your stuff this time a little quicker because I knew I was going to have the video. All right, but this one should be from P4 down to 0. P4 down to 0 over to Q3, and from Q3 up to F. All right, that was a common mistake on this one. All right, that's if they're perfectly price discriminating. Again, that's their total revenue, not their total profit. Instead, assume the monopolist. I'm going to part C. They charge a single price and is regulated to produce the socially efficient quantity. Using the labeling on the graph, identify each of the following. So before we do it, and they're going to ask you this anyway probably, but where is the socially optimal point is here, where marginal, the price people are willing to pay from the demand curve is equal to the marginal cost. So everybody's just breaking even. The consumers are getting exactly what they want, and the producers are just breaking even. So that happens at P1, and your quantity would be P1, and your quantity would be Q3. Let's see what they ask us. So the socially efficient quantity, I just said, is Q3. I kind of slurred out there a little bit, sorry. So part C, I equals Q3. Then it wants the consumer surplus, right? Now, again, this was a part where we had a little bit of an issue, right? So I think you might have had in your heads that you're still thinking about perfectly price discriminating and that there is no consumer surplus. But no, there is, because they're telling you the price has got to be here. They're regulating the price, right? So standard old consumer surplus. If that's your price, it's everything below demand but above price. Okay, so don't overthink it, right? Your consumer surplus then, I'm not going to erase all that. Make it just messier. Your new consumer surplus, if they're regulated, I took away part of my demand curve there, is all this in there, right? So two ways you could have done it. You could have said it's from P4 down to P1 over to F, or you could have said from P4 down to P1 times Q3 divided by 2. And the answer, explanation, whatever, they only take it one way, but again, I would hope they would take it with the equation as well, because that obviously shows that you know what you're talking about. So again, I would say P4 P4 over to P1 over to F. Okay. Again, I think you could have said P4 minus P1 times Q3, and then half that, and that's the area of your triangle. All right, so that's your consumer surplus after the regulation is put in, and they're regulating them to produce at the socially optimal point of production. Okay, so that's C. D is the monopolist facing the regulation, or I might have typed that up wrong on yours. Is the monopolist facing the regulation in Part C earning a positive economic profit? Okay. So they're making money here, losing money, or just breaking even. Well, the price is exactly equal to their ATC, which means they're just breaking even. All right, again, simple one, doesn't need much thought. That's Part D. There's only one question. It is normal profit, just breaking even. Or you could say again, zero economic profit. And again, that would mean they're getting or earning accounting profit, because the accounting profit takes into account the implicit costs, which economic profit does. Okay. And they want an explanation on that. Okay, so you'd have to say, because the price is equal to their average total cost, therefore they're just breaking even, making normal profit, zero economic profit. It's a long one. Is E. Is point, oh yeah, this one a couple people screwed up too. Is point F in the elastic, inelastic, or unit elastic part of the demand curve? Okay, so here, was it point F? Okay, so point F is here. Point F, take it down to the quantity. That quantity, Q3, comes after marginal revenue has hit zero. Okay, so some of you you had it right that it was in the inelastic region, but you didn't give the right explanation or the correct explanation. You know it's the inelastic region because anything that happens after, let me go back to the graph. Oh, they don't give you a number. Okay, so anything that happens after this point here, now you're in the inelastic regions. If there was a point there, that would be your point of unit elasticity, right? That's where we were elastic coming down. We hit that point of unit elasticity, right, where marginal revenue goes negative. And now, because marginal revenue is negative, as I drop my price, my marginal revenue goes down. It has to be because I'm in the inelastic range, right? Well, if my marginal revenue goes down, my total revenue, or my marginal revenue, I'm sorry, if my marginal revenue is negative, my total revenue is declining. Okay, so if I lower price, total revenue goes down. I look like an eye, I'm in the inelastic region, and there you go. All right. So again, we messed up on that one a little bit also. Anything past whatever that imaginary point is, E1/2, whatever you want it to be, that starts your inelastic range. You had to say it's inelastic because anything past this point here, the point of unit elasticity, and your marginal revenue is negative, and that's how I know I'm in the inelastic range of the demand curve. Okay. Yeah. So for that one, we're going to just quickly put up the stuff for the second question, and then we'll get to the assignment 25 in a few minutes. Okay, we're back. So this is, who's this, Martha? This is Martha, and she's buying product X and product Y. And here's her total benefit. So again, simple words, guys, and it's a reading test. That said marginal benefit, it's a completely different question. Okay, so you have to be really careful. This one says total benefit, and it changes the whole deal. We also know that good X costs $4 a piece, while good Y costs $2 a piece. whatever these things are. And again, get in that habit, put your number up there. Anybody catch that? TK421? Anyone? Star Wars? And your initials up at the top. Okay, so let's see. What is the marginal benefit from consuming the fifth unit of good X? So the fifth unit, her total utility changes how much? It changes from 40 to 41. So I'm going to make another column here. This will help with the other things later. Of the marginal benefit, and going from 40 to 41 is a difference of 1. Okay, so it's probably I don't know, some of these it's like, wait a second, is it really that easy? Yes, it's that easy. The answer to A is $1. Okay, she gets, is that what it's in? I think it's what it's in. Total benefit it doesn't say. I'm going to assume those are in dollars, not oodles, whatever. Okay, so her total benefit changed by 1. So the marginal benefit of that fifth one is just 1. Just that easy. Calculate, letter B, calculate the total consumer surplus from consuming 5 units of good X and show your work. All right, so she gets 5 units of good X. Well, what's her total benefit from that? Her total benefit is 41. But what did that cost her? Well, good X cost $4, and she bought 5 of them. So yes, her benefit was 41, but what was her cost? It was 5 times 4. And that's going to equal, so that's 41 times 4 times 20, right? And that's going to equal 21 bucks. Okay, so for part B, total benefit minus total cost, 5 items, 4 times, 5 items, $4 a piece, 20. So 41 minus 20 is 21. Okay. Martha is currently, this one, most of you had this right, but the wrong explanation. You guys keep talking about, for this type of question, and that's the reason I gave it to you, or gave you another similar one as far as marginal analysis. It's not about total benefit on these, most of these type of questions. Okay? A lot of you kept saying it's not giving her the greatest total benefit or total utility for the other question, or whatever. It's not about that. It's about marginal utility per dollar spent being equal. Okay, so it's a big mistake for those couple people who are still engaged here and actually taking this exam, which you should be. Marginal utility per dollar spent has to be equal. It's not about maximizing total utility. Okay, so it gave you part of it. It said use marginal analysis to explain why it's not her optimal. So just saying it's not her optimal bundle is not going to get you anywhere, because they tell you it's not her optimal. They want to know why, right? And the reason why is, here's where we want to go and put in our marginal utility stuff, or marginal benefit, same thing. So going from none to 1, she gets 16. Going from 1 to 2, difference between 28 and 16 is 12. I didn't get really good math all of a sudden. I have it written down. Going from the second unit of X to the third, she goes from 28 to 36. It's a difference of 8. Going from the third unit to the fourth unit, she gets 4. And we already did the last one. Okay. You got to do it for Y also. Okay, so from going from 0 to the first unit, she gets 10, then she gets 8, then she gets 6, then she gets 4, then she gets 2. Look at that. I did that without my notes. All right, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Nice. Okay, so they said that she is currently consuming 4 units of X. Okay, giving her $4 of marginal utility. Going from the third to the fourth, she gets 4. So that fourth unit of X gives her marginal utility of 4, and it costs her $4. So marginal utility per dollar spent. Marginal utility cost her $4 equals 1. She's buying 2 units of good Y. 2y, and she's getting, going from 1 to 2, she's getting $6 of utility, and it's costing her $2. It doesn't sound right. Hold on a second. Oh, yep. Okay, so going from 1 unit to 2 units, her marginal utility is 8. Okay, so marginal utility is 8, cost of $2. That is a marginal utility per dollar spent of 4. So, hello. So 4 is obviously much greater than 1. Doesn't ask you this, but just in case it does, what should she be doing? She should be doing more of good Y. Why? Because if she does more, that's going to bring the marginal utility down, law of diminishing marginal utility, and if she does that, she's going to do more of X. I'm sorry, she's going to do less of X, and that's going to raise her marginal utility of X. So do more of the thing that's giving you more marginal utility per dollar spent, whatever that is, right? You do more of it, it brings the marginal utility per dollar spent down, right? You do less of this, and it'll bring the marginal utility per dollar spent up, and eventually they'll equal each other out. Okay, so again, most of you had, I can't even say you had it partially right. You had it wrong because you were explaining that she could be having a greater total utility doing something else. That might have worked out in this case. I didn't even test it, but it might not. Right, and it's not what they want to hear. They want to hear about the marginal utility per dollar spent. All right. Next one, indicate, or what is her optimal bundle? Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this. And only because I want to walk you through how I would do this. Okay. So again, you want to find, you know that X costs twice as much as Y, right? So you want to find a situation where your marginal benefit of X is twice as much as your marginal benefit for Y. So start right here. Start with 16. If I go with 1X, where's my marginal benefit half of that? Well, that would be going from my second unit of Y, right? So I could go 1X and 2Y. And that satisfies my first part of this, right? Is that my marginal utility per dollar spent for each item is the same. Going to that first unit, my marginal utility is 16 per dollar spent. 16 divided by 4 is 4. And marginal utility per dollar spent of going to that second item of Y is 8. And I spent 2, and that also equals 4. Great, I did it, right? No, you didn't do it, because if you do that, how did I write this down? Yeah. Maybe I didn't write it down. How much are you spending? All right, I bought 1X for $4, and I bought 2Y, $2 each. That's only $8. Another part of this question was her budget was $20. Okay, so yes, it satisfies the first part of the rule, but she's got a lot more money that she could have spent, and she's not. Right, so it's not her optimal bundle. She also could have done, let's see, what else works? 12. Anything over here? Yeah, 6. Okay, so she could have bought 2X and the third Y. And again, that's going to satisfy the first part of our rule because her marginal utility per dollar spent is 12 over 4 equals 3. And third Y, she gets 6 per dollar spent equals 3. So that works. Okay, but how much is she spending there? Right, in this case, just to keep it a little shorter, she's going to be 8 plus 6 equals 14. And again, she could be spending more. So that doesn't work. All right, let me get rid of these just so it's easier for you guys to see on the video. Okay, so that didn't work, so we got to keep going, right? So let's try 8. Is there a 4 over here? Yes, there is. So going to the third unit, 3x equals 8 marginal utility, and going to the fourth unit. Yeah, I guess that's right. Yeah, okay. I don't remember that being the right answer, but it is. Going to the fourth unit of y equals 4 marginal utility. 8 over 4, I'm sorry, 8 over 4 equals 2. 4 over 2 equals 2. And again, that's marginal utility over dollars spent, right? They're equal. And now, when she buys 3 things at $4 a piece, it's 12. When she buys 4 things at $2 a piece, it's 8. And 8 and 12 equal 20 bucks. Now she's maxing out her budget, and that's where she should be at. The answer is 3x, 4y. Okay, we have one other situation that satisfies the first part of our rule, but doesn't satisfy the second part. Okay, if she was going to get 4x and 5y, why doesn't that work? Well, if she got 4x, it's going to give her 4 marginal utility per dollar spent. It's 1. And if she got 5y, she gets $2 in marginal utility. Cost her $2. That equals 1. So again, that satisfies our rule. But now, if she's buying 4 things at $4, it costs her 16. Then if she's buying 5 things at $2, it costs her 10. And that equals 26. And she is way over budget. And she can't do that. Or at least it's not optimal. Right? So there we go. It should be 3x, 4y. There's your explanation. There's how you work your way through it. You're going to have plenty of time to do that, all right, especially this year. Indicate which of the following will cause Martha's optimal consumption of good Y. Increase, decrease, and same. Okay, real quick. The price of good Y doubles. All right, that should be pretty simple. The price goes up, her budget stays the same, right? So optimal consumption. All right, so she's going to have to buy less. Okay, so her purchasing of good Y is going to have to decrease. We were pretty good on these as well. I'm going to go quick. It's already almost a half hour. If you don't get it from this, let me know. I'll go back over it. Martha's income falls to $10, and the price of good Y does not change. That's the same thing, guys. Income effect. If this thing gets more expensive, it's the same thing as you not having as much money. If it's a normal good, really. So the price goes up, your optimal bundle is going to go down for at least good Y. If your income goes down and it's a normal good, same thing. You're not going to be able to purchase as much, right? So part E, 1 and 2 are both decrease, and then the last one, Martha's income doubles and the price of both goods double also, right? That's a washout and everything stays the same, okay? Your income went up, but so did the price of the good, so it's a wash. You're going to end up doing just what you were doing. All right? Let me know if you didn't dig any of that, or if you didn't understand it. I don't know if you dig it or not. And we will individually try to get back to you and explain more or further or more in depth, whatever. So that's, I was going to say episode 24. That is assignment 24, and I wanted to do assignment 25 right now, but it's like 3 o'clock, so I'm just going to upload this, and then I got to spend at least an hour trying to contact parents from people who just are not doing their work, mostly 10th graders, but a couple of you guys too, unfortunately. So depending how long that takes me and how much I want to, rip my ears off or pull my hair out after that, I might put up 25 later, or might have to wait till tomorrow, but it'll get up there soon. And you have number 26 due tomorrow at 3. A little longer, but we got to rock and roll, right? We got about a week left before this thing. And those of you who are still engaged and want to rock out on this thing, I want you to be as well prepared as you possibly can be. Okay, so that's it. Hit me up whenever you need to, and I'll see you in the next video, either later today or I'll get up there first thing tomorrow. All right. Blame the 10th graders. Lazies. All right. See you later, guys.